Well, in an average garden, people will have a few of the native herbs that they don't realise are edible. One of the plants that lots of gardens have is the Kunzia ambigua, the white Kunzia, and that is a fabulous plant. It's actually being used now medicinally. You probably have heard of Kunzia cream. It's an antiseptic, antibiotic, anti-inflammatory. It's more antiseptic than either tea tree oil or eucalyptus oil. So it's a pretty impressive plant, but it's edible, and it's also, like the leaves are edible as a savoury seasoning, but also the flowers taste and smell like honey, and you can use them in lots of cooking. But certainly we have a lot of introduced plants in our gardens, and a lot of them are poisonous, or if not poisonous, they're toxic, and certainly not good to you. It's interesting in the Tasmanian bush, apart from fungi, which can be deadly poisonous, there's not much that's poisonous in the native plants in the Tasmanian bush. You're more likely to damage the plant than the plant is to damage you. There's a lot of plants that we use now that would not have been used, that we have knowledge of now, that wouldn't have been used necessarily much by the first Tasmanians. A good example is that warrigal greens. We now blanch them, and you can use them really widely. They're a fabulous, really, really flexible plant to use anywhere that you'd use spinach or you'd use the beet family. You can use warrigal greens. They're really a versatile plant. So there's those plants that we can use that the cooking methods have allowed us to use. And another set of plants that we now use would be all the herbs. We have a native parsley, Apium prostratum, we have a native celery, Apium insulare, we have a native thyme, Oxythamnus obcordatus, isn't that a fabulous name? We have a native rosemary, and so on and so forth. And saltbush is another fantastically versatile plant. I have to say that saltbush chips are probably one of the best ways of eating them. The coast is the richest area that there is in Tasmania. We have an issue though, we do not promote foraging. My mantra is that we want to treat the bush as a library, not a supermarket. Because our bush is fragile, it's fragmented, it's also the food for the birds, the insects and all the rest of it. If every human that walks the path picks a leaf here and there, then we're really going to start losing that bush. So all of these plants are available from the native plant nurseries, and all of them will grow in Tasmanian gardens. So that's where our focus is, absolutely on that, is to grow your own. Certainly, there's some plants you can wild harvest. On the coast, pigface. The good old pigface has the most beautiful fruit, and it's in abundance, and it certainly can be picked and eaten casually by people that are walking by. So our pigface, Carpobrotus rossii, has that bright purpley pink flower, and it actually has by far the sweetest fruit. And I like to make a cheesecake with several of the coastal berries, because we grow them all here. And so there's another beautiful berry called leucopogon, and that's a tiny little ball of citrus. So you've got this sweet, almost figgy, I reckon it's pigface I think is a cross between strawberry and fig. And it's got tiny little seeds, very similar to the fig. So you've got that texture, that almost gelatinous texture, with these bright little bites of the leucopogon berry. So, yeah.